everyone, this is Anne. Today is Monday, August 7th. I hope everybody's doing great. I am checking in for a quick update. I've got some works in progress. I've got an almost FFO'd piece, and then some new acquisitions from my birthday. Yeah, so just a little bit of everything. Let's get started. First off, life update. So my husband and I just got back from a long weekend in Salida, Colorado, one of our favorite little towns. He and a friend decided that they wanted to do a fishing trip. Lots of good fishing up there, lots of streams. They did a float trip day one, and then they did just their own thing. They went and found some places to fish. Day two, we went out to dinner. My friend Joy is married to my husband's friend George. They went with us. So my husband and George went fishing, and Joy and I, we walked around town, did a little window shopping. I got a new running hat, which was awesome. Used that while I was there. I ran down to the river from our hotel, which is kind of on the main strip. Very small town, I think 8,000 permanent residents, but they do a great job with all of their tourism there. They have tons of festivals. This weekend they had an antique car show. We'll be back. I will be going back in September to vend at a fiber festival there, which I love. It's one of my favorite ones to go to. It's out in the park and just really nicely organized. Great time. So we did that. Got back yesterday afternoon, and just, you know how it is when you get back, just even from a short trip, you got extra laundry to do and have to hit the grocery store. So stuff like that is what we did yesterday. So that was nice. It was nice to be away, even just for a short break. So the big life update, which I will share with you guys, is that my husband, just about a week and a half ago, I guess, got all of his finalized papers for going out on change of station. So he's going to be gone for 2 years. And I get it. It's not like he's going to Afghanistan. He's going to DC. So it's not the same as if he was in the military, where I wouldn't see him at all during this time. But because all of my work and like the fiber festivals I do are all out here west of the Mississippi, west of the Rockies, really. That plus our 2 very active dogs, plus me losing my studio space. I mean, we couldn't even begin to recreate that space that I've got here in the house in DC. He's going to go by himself, and so I'm going to be kind of the single homeowner here for the next couple of years. He will be leaving the last week of September, which is really not that far away. It's like 6 weeks out. So we've been running around trying to sort of scramble to do some things like trade in a vehicle, because we want to keep the truck here for me so I can haul product to shows, but it's not a good vehicle. It's not a full-size truck is not the easiest thing to park. And so he wanted to get something a little bit smaller that he can drive out and have in DC, be able to use it if he needed to go out of the city. And he's trying to find an apartment and a place to live, and we're trying to coordinate the moving company. And yeah, it's a little crazy here right now. So the bonus is that we did book ourselves a full week vacation in September, early September, before he knew he was going. So we're going to do that, and then he'll be back for a week, and then he'll drive to the East Coast. So kind of a big change coming up. We'll see how it goes. It'll be different. Let's just say that. We've had times where he's worked at a different area than our permanent residence was. Like when he was doing study sites, he would be gone, but it would be like 6 weeks. and he'd usually be home the middle weekend in that 6 weeks as opposed to 2 years. And he does get to fly home. They expect him to come back and check in at his job here where we are in New Mexico, basically every other month. So we figure between that and it'll give me an excuse to fly home and see my parents. And some of the places I go, like when I go to California, it's not too far away from one of the other places he sometimes goes for business. So he's going to try to work it so like that weekend in February when I'm in California, he'll just fly in and take the shuttle down to the hotel, and then we'll have the weekend together. So different. We'll see. Stay tuned. It'll be interesting. Okay, so now that I've talked 6 minutes, let's move on into some stitching. What I've been working on. Since the 1st of August, I put in 6 days on my Shoot the Moon project. This is a Heaven and Earth design. It is no background. I'm using this hand-dyed 28 count even weave. And because the background was removed, I'm doing it basically as a silhouette piece. This is all 310, just basic DMC black. And so this is the first row of pages. So this is page 1, page 2. Page 3 doesn't really have anything on it. This is the second row of pages, so I finished that page. And there is a second page here, and it will be there. I'll show you the picture in a minute. There's a figure right here, and she's got a bow and arrow, and that kind of comes up into this space. And so this is the third page. There's 4 vertical rows, so this is the third row, and this is the top of her hair ribbon. So I'm almost done this page. It comes down to there. You can see I basically have like one little piece of blocks left to do, and then there's a little bit right here, and then that page will be finished. So here is, knocking stuff everywhere. Here is the pattern. Again, charted by Heaven and Earth Designs. Artwork by Lee Ann Seed. It's the mini Shoot the Moon and no background. So I am done with this, the 6 days. Oh, and let me just show you where I am. Sorry. So this little black spot right here is the ribbon that I've come to. So I'm here on the pattern. And so there's a full page, and then I think 3 rows, I think is what finishes this up for the bottom. So the bottom has a fair amount of stitching to do. That last, from here down is quite a bit. Really happy with how this is turning out. I love working on this fabric. You can see it's got a slight gradient to it. It's a lighter purple into a darker purple. It's even darker kind of down here where it's rolled up. So I wanted to show you guys where I was before I moved my scroll rods, but I will probably roll it up so that this part is now at the very top, just so I can keep working down. So that's where that is. Making some progress on this. I could envision, since it's one of my Ivory Needle Challenge focus pieces, I could envision that I might get this done, maybe not exactly this year, but soon-ish into the new year, into 2018. Okay, so that was the first 6 days of the month. And then yesterday, when we got home, I just needed kind of a new little mental break, I guess is where I'm going with that. Like, I had worked on that quite a bit, and I worked on another project that I'm going to show you here in a minute. So I got my Under the Sea Sal for the August clue set. I got everything on back on my Q snaps. And then this morning I put in just these few little stitches. So, this clue has these little fish, this fish and this fish, a starfish, and then there's a manta ray right there. and the seaweed will come down. So not very far along on this because I've just worked a little bit on this today. I'm going to try to work another hour on it or so. So I'll work on this for the next 6 days. This is on 25 count. It's a printed dyed even weave that is from Lakeside Needle Crafts, who is hosting the stitch along, and the pattern is by Doreen Jones. So once I get this, the August one finished, then we'll just have September, October, November, December. So 4 more months, and then this will be complete. Cute. So I'll be working on this the next 6 days. I will post more in my next update when I get there. Next is my oh so close FFO. I have to tack the bottom opening closed, but I have finished this ornament. This is one of 2 ornaments that are in a collection called Winter Solstice by Hands On Designs. And I changed up some of the colors on it. This was originally the same brown as the house, and the lettering was done in the green, I think, or maybe the white. I can't remember, but at any rate, I changed it to this kind of soft herb green. And then I used a little bit of Petite Treasure braid for the Solitude letters, which I love. They're that arts and crafts type font. And I stitched this on, it's a 28 count Witchelt hand dye called Stormy Sky or Stormy Skies, something like that. It's a light kind of mottled gray. And then I just backed it with this kind of dusty mid-range blue with the stars on it, which I thought was kind of, you know, in keeping with sort of a winter snowflake themed thing. So this, like I said, this is one of 2. It was a Mania start in 2017, and I have the other one that basically the house is flipped, and the lettering is over here on the second one, and I'm working on that right now. Changing that one up just even a little bit more. I'm using this sparkly Petite Treasure braid to put in here for some of the snowflakes, and then I'm using it again for the lettering. The threads are otherwise Gentle Arts threads, except for the Petite Treasure braid, obviously. So just need to tack that closed, and then that will be done, and I can have it out for the holidays this year. I mean, I think it's not so overtly Christmas that I think you could pretty much have it out all winter, which I will likely do. I think it's really cute. I love the curling smoke out of the chimney. So there is that. That one is done. What else? Okay, so I think that is it for what I'm working on and my FFO. Before I move on to stash acquisitions, which I know are not everybody's thing, I did want to mention the fact that I have opened up the full coverage group on Facebook. I had so many of you guys asking about it and asking about the challenges and what I had planned. I just decided I'm going to go ahead and open it. So there's not any challenges active until December 21st of 2017, and then all of the ones for 2018 are set up. So if you're someone who likes to plan and kind of want to see what the themes are, go take a look at that. I will put the link down below. The Facebook name for the group is Full Coverage Fanatics. I expect very little to be happening until probably October, late October, early November. Once we get cranked up, kind of getting a little closer to the end of the year, I think it'd be a great thing to post plans and show us all what you're going to work on. Tell us what challenges you're going to work on. But until then, I mean, you're certainly welcome to post in that group. It's anything that's a full coverage piece. Doesn't matter the designer, doesn't really matter the size, as long as it's full coverage. fair game. So if you're interested in that, pretty casual. It's not, I mean, nothing commando over there. So if you're interested in doing full coverage and want some support and community, go check out that link. So again, I will put that down below and you guys can take a look at it. So finally, if my phone will keep going, it may kick us off here. I just wanted to show you guys really quickly a few things that arrived in the mail this week. The first of which is I won a prize from the Stitch from Stash A, which I'm not doing the second half of the year. I'm just doing the first. I did the first half of the year. So Stephanie contacted me and I received this chatelaine pattern. It is called the Classicism Garden Mandala. And it's got like a pergola type, not pergola, what are those called? It's like an octagonal garden arbor thing. Y'all know what I mean. It's too early for me to come up with that word. In the center. And then it's got just garden motifs around. Really pretty. So thank you, Stephanie, for sending this on. It was not on my radar, but it is a super pretty one. And I went and I looked at the kit, so I may have to actually do this one at some point. So that came this week in the mail. That actually was here waiting when we got back. My friend Christina got me some cross-stitch things for my birthday. She picked me up this little pack of cards. There's 3 designs. And then the kits come with the floss and the chart, as well as the card with the cutout, so you can stitch all of these. This is a Baco kit, and it is Modern Flowers is the name. So those are really cute and fun. I can totally see myself stitching those up as like thank you notes. I think that would be fun. And then she picked me up the Celtic Santas from Mill Hill. So there's 3 of them. There is the Scotland Santa. There is the Wales Santa. Sorry for the glare. And there is the Ireland Santa. And I loved doing, you guys might remember from a couple of videos ago, I had finished up my, one of the other Santas from the Mill Hill series. So these are the same, you know, same kind of deal. Comes with the perforated paper, comes with the floss, comes with bead packs. So these 3 are a set. I love these. These are totally up my alley. I am definitely going to be stitching these. I'm trying to get a few of my other smalls finished first, but then I think I am likely going to tackle the Ireland Santa. I have been to both Ireland and Wales. I've been to both Northern Ireland and Southern Ireland. Just Ireland. Northern Ireland and Ireland, as well as Scotland, but I have not yet been to Wales, and I would really like to go. That's on my bucket list for someday. So these are just perfect. Thank you, Christina, for sending those on to me. They were a great birthday gift. Good job. Good job. Then I picked up a few patterns for myself as a happy birthday to me, like you do. The first one is another full coverage pattern. I got this from Gecko Rouge's Etsy store. Now, they, like 99% of what they sell are kits. They are not just standalone patterns like Heaven and Earth does, Charting Creations does, Scarlet Quince, is that right? Anyway, usually you have to buy the pattern in a kit. This was a downloadable PDF called Fright Night. Love it. Love it. Yeah. So I would do this as a 25 count. It comes out to about 17 and a half by 22 inches if you do it on the 25 count. DMC. So levels. So I have a Halloween themed full coverage picked out for next year, which is my Which Way project. But once I get that done, and it's a mini, so, you know, I could theoretically finish it this lifetime. This is my next Halloween themed piece. Cannot wait. And then, last but not least, I was very influenced by the Joan Elliot July projects that are out there. The ones Jessie Marie's working on, Belinda, how many do you have? 3, 4? And then Stitch and Mommy started one. Who else's have I been looking at? Oh, Terry, Stitch and Petunia. So I know a lot of folks have been doing the Joan Elliot July stitch along, which is, you know, now over because July is over. But hey, you know what? I can stitch Joan Elliot anytime I want, right? As long as I had some patterns. And I am a total sucker for like the seasonal sets of things, you know, spring, summer, winter, fall collections of stuff. And I had been thinking about doing maybe a set of full coverage ones, but I hadn't found ones that I liked that were the whole year. Like I loved the spring and autumn ones, or I loved the winter and autumn ones. I tended not to like a lot of the summer ones I saw. I have no idea why. They just didn't appeal to me. And so even though there were several collections of the seasonal ones, I didn't love them enough to do a whole set of full coverage ones. However, I did like the Joan Elliot Fairies, these seasonal fairies, enough to get those. I actually ordered these all directly from her and got a nice little card with them. Excuse the crinkling, gonna be here just for a minute. She sent this really adorable little postcard along with my order, which was nice. She actually was out of town when I had contacted her, so it took, I think, 10 days. Like, she had to come back into the country. She was in the UK. So I got Spring Fairy, Summer Fairy, Autumn Fairy. I'm pretty sure you can guess what the next one is. Winter Fairy. And I'm not going to start these right away because I want to think about what fabric I want to do these on. I know I want to do them on, I want to do all of them on hand dyes. But I want to decide if I'm going like linen or even weave. I'm leaning towards even weave. Yeah, I want to think about what I want to do with that. But these will get started at some point. Oh, you know who else has been working on these is Stephanie. She's got 2 or 3 completely done. 2 completely done, working on a 3rd that's almost there. I think that's right. Hers are beautiful. They're just beautiful. Yeah. Then, this is not seasonal, but this is a new Joan Elliot pattern. I think it's just released like May or June of this year, but I saw this on her site. If you go to her site, she has a blog that anytime she has a new release, shows up there, which maybe you want to go to or maybe you don't, but I'll link it down below because I'm an enabler. I got this. It's called The Time Traveler. It's very steampunky-y. And I've been reading this great book series by Jodi Taylor that's about time travel. And I already know what fabric I want to do this on, but I think I'm going to do a color conversion and do it with charcoal grays and like steel blues. So I have to ponder those colors and how I want that to work out, but I think that's what I'm going to do is blues and grays. And maybe just a little bit of like a burnt orange for her gloves. And maybe this ruffle. Yeah. So happy birthday to me. That is what I have picked up. I think that's it. Yeah, that's it. So this winds up being 25 minutes. I will try to keep my next video fairly short, so I'm hopefully only going to get to around 40 minutes or so. I will probably do an update when I've got the Under the Sea Sal block finished for this month, and then combine those two together. But until the next time I talk to you, I hope everybody has a great stitchy week or so. It'll probably be about a week until I record the second half of this. Next up in my rotation after the Under the Sea block is my chatelaine again. So that will be its own standalone video, and then I'll combine the other things that I'm working on together. So until next time I talk to you, be kind to yourself, be good to others. Take care. Hey everyone, it's Anne again. Today is Thursday, August 10th, 2017. Hope everybody is doing great. So I'm popping in for what I hope will be a quick update, just to get kind of caught up on stuff so the next video won't be uber long. What I've been working on. So you guys saw my Shoot the Moon project in the last clip that you just watched. The current 6-day rotation, I have been working on the August clue from the Under the Sea Sal, sponsored by Lakeside Needlecrafts and patterned by Doreen Jones. And this was the August clue, that little starfish and the manta ray. So I have gotten that finished in record time. It was not a super difficult clue, actually less color changes than there often are in these little blocks. Again, I'm doing this on the 25 count even weave that you could get from Lakeside Needlecrafts for the stitch along. I'm using DMC threads. I'm stitching this 1/1 though, not 2/1 or 1/2. Excuse me. Numbers. Things I'm doing differently. I have completely given up on the DMC light effects. That's gone. I'm just using a Petite Treasure Braid blending filament. And so I'm using that for anywhere. There's sparkle, which is like the mermaid tail. There's a little bit in the fish. And then I'm using it along with the called for DMC color to do the seaweed. And instead of stitching the water bubbles with, I think it's white or just an off-white, I can't remember which color it is, I'm using little seed beads. So there are the beads, and you can see, I think you can see a little bit of the sparkle. Maybe it's not showing up great on camera, but anyway, so that is the block through August down here. So we have 4 more blocks, and then this little guy will be done, which I am happy about. I have come to the conclusion that while I am enjoying this, mystery sals are just not something I want to do in the future. I'm too OCD about how stuff is going to look, and as a result, then I don't know. It's not that, again, not that I dislike this, not that there's anything wrong with it. I think it's turning out super cute, but I think I like to pick my own stuff. There, I said it. Okay. That is, so this project actually was something I was supposed to work on through Saturday, and it's done. So since I have a few days left in this 6-day rotation, I decided I was going to pop over and put in a little time on my Heaven and Earth story keep called Star Weaver. This is where I am currently. I would love to get this row finished. So if I can do that, then I have two more blocks of 10 rows. That's not making sense. See where that little blue dot is? That's the bottom of page 2. So I have 1 and 2 rows left on this page. It's a 3-page project. I may have to kick this into a little higher gear if I want to get it done for my dad this year. We'll see. I had originally thought, yeah, I can do October, but now I'm thinking we've just got so much going on in September that that's not going to happen. So maybe for Christmas, because that gives me August, September, October, November, December. It gives me 5 months. Yeah. So that's where I am, working on this crazy bit of confetti right here. And if I can get this row done in the next couple of days as not part of my normal rotation, that would be really awesome. So there's where I am. Just the point of his hat and kind of some swirly magical stuff. I will pull out the picture of it, the printed picture of it, when I actually rotate to it, which will be later, won't be next week because I'm working on my chatelaine next week, but it'll be the following week. So see where we get. Ought to be fun. So that is my plans for the upcoming weekend, and you heard that I'm going to be working on my chatelaine next week, so there will be an update about that once I've had my 6 days of time in on that for the Ivory Needle Challenge. Quick note just to say thank you to everybody who's signed up for the Full Coverage Fanatics group. I had a couple of days there where I know Lisa of Lisa's Stitching and such and Sarah over at Stitch and Mommy both posted about the group being open in their videos, and I spent a lot of time adding people, so that was great. I'm really happy to see that there's so many folks who are interested and plan on participating next year. I think it will be a lot of fun. So yeah, looking forward to that. And as a follow-up, I think I may have mentioned several videos ago that I ordered a quick stitch version of a chart from Heaven and Earth Designs, and so this is going to have to go on my start sooner rather than later list because they finished it up yesterday and I snagged it. It is an Amy Stewart design. The original artwork is called Eterna. It has it has more trees here and a ton of sky here and more trees here, and really everything I loved about it was the girl and the horse. So I asked Michelle if she would kind of focus on that when she did the quick stitch version. And here it is. A little bit shaggier than my boy Ben, but I spent a lot of time with him doing that. He was a love, and about that big too, not a super tall horse. Anyway, so the quick stitch, which is the small version, is still 18 by 16 on 25 count fabric. It's 450 wide by 400 high, so not a quick stitch, but anyway, there it is. Love it, love it. Gonna wind up starting this next year as well at some point, or maybe sooner, like you do. So with that little note in mind, even though I don't really have any challenges or stitch along set up until December, when I was talking with Lisa at Lisa's Stitching and such, because she did a section of her last video that talks about all of her full coverage plans for next year, I thought to myself, maybe what we need, since the group is already open, is a little kickoff, you know, kind of like football season, Full Coverage Fanatics kickoff, same sort of thing. So I'm thinking I may set something up to start September 21st, which is the first day of fall, and then that would give folks time between then and the first day of the first challenge, which is December 21st. So it gives you 3 months. Carte blanche to start any full coverage project you want. So if you've got stuff kind of burning a hole in your queue that you want to just, you know, put those first few stitches in on, I'm thinking I may have a New Start September at the end of the month. Stay tuned for more details on that because I'm leaning that way. I have a bunch of stuff I actually would like to, you know, even if you can do like 100 stitches, to get that first block in, that feels really good. So I may have that occur. I may have like, maybe I'll start 3 new projects between September 21st and December 21st, and then I'm ready to go because the project that I'm looking at for the January prompt is a new one to me that I have not started yet. So that may just, you know, work out good, or at least I'm rationalizing the crap out of that. So yeah, I'm sure there will be some of you all who are happy to get on that rationalization train with me. Anywho, I think that's it for today. Like I said, trying to keep this pretty short, pretty sweet. Just over 9 minutes, so I'm gonna batch this together with my previous video, get this uploaded today. I will talk to you guys again after my chatelaine rotation is over to do episode 3 of the Chatelaine Diaries and catch you up on the progress there. So have a great rest of your week. I hope you have a lot of time to stitch this weekend. I know a lot of kids are going back to school here shortly, so hopefully not too crazy at your end. Yeah, so I'll talk to you guys middle of the month. Take care.